You're listening to Rockland News' election results evening. I'm your host, Tom Osa. Thanks for joining us today. All right, look, I'm not going to lie to you. We've been following these election results kind of moderately, and we don't even know who to vote for at this point. It's all up to you, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to have a few guests, I think, at like around 9:30 when the election results start coming in. But first, let's thank our sponsors for this election edition. First of all, Yabu Fence Company, located in West Nyack, New York since 1965, have been helping to build your fences all over the Hudson Valley. Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp, Kobe Sushi with the new music lounge in New City, New York. Susan Bova, Lauren Molino Muller, awesome realtors, and many more. Let's get right into what's going on tonight. So if you've been following this crazy, amazing elections, here are the results. Actually, we don't have them yet. It starts at like around 9:30. If you go to rocklandsnews.com, let me just bring up the freaking website. And I'm sure you have the Googles at this point, and you could look on Facebook and basically every possible location known to man. If you just open up your phone or you go onto the internet at this point, you're probably going to find out who won the election. So if you're in this particular podcast, live stream, whatever we're doing right now, and you're listening in, thank you very much in advance for checking in on this because we're just having fun at this point. I mean, I'm just going to be perfectly frank with you. I'm sitting here with a Cutwater lemon drop martini that I had on my 50th birthday. There's an extra can in front of me, and I feel that it's just going to be something where I'm going to be blabbing for the next, I don't know, hour and a half to 2 hours. We will have some guests, though. I reached out to George Holman. I reached out to County Executive Ed Day. And, hey, if they get unseated, sure, it is what it is. But they're going to chime in probably like around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and they're going to let us know how everything went. We're also going to have live stream results from enhanced voting. So basically, if you go to rocklandnews.com right now on your web browser, on the internet, and then you go to Rockland Election 2025 in the search, you can go right to the page where all the election results, you could just click on the button link right there, and you can see all the election results, ladies and gentlemen, for every single candidate that's out there that's working for you if they get elected. And here are the early results right now at 9:22 p.m. on Tuesday. It looks like County Executive Ed Day at the moment, okay, 1,891 votes. That's 80.6% of the vote to 460 votes for Michael Parietti, 19.52% for Michael Parietti. I have to say, he looks like Conan O'Brien. I can't explain it, and let me just say this very clearly. All right, I got nothing against anyone, left, right, center. I'm just calling it like I see it, dude. You look like Conan O'Brien, and that's an advantage in some circles. I mean, whatever happens tonight versus 4 years from now. I mean, it's good to be well recognized. So just keep that in mind for the future. Just want to say that. Legislative District 13, Moishi Hopstein with 95.29% of the votes. That's 506 votes versus Mordecai Ostreicher with 3.2% of the votes. That's 17 votes. And Natasha Audane with 1.51% of the votes. That's 8 votes. And there were no write-ins. So that's where we're at. I have a feeling Moshi is going to win. I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong on that later on. I'm guessing like around 10 o'clock, taking a break to have some Cutwater lemon drop martini. I highly recommend this particular blend. I had it on my 50th birthday, ladies and gentlemen. I turned 50 on on Friday, October 31st. Yes, I'm a Halloween baby, and had a really cool uh, birthday party on Saturday, which is considered All Saints Day. My mom tried to hold out, but it just didn't work out. But we had this cut water lemon drop martini, which was pretty darn fantastic. So I highly recommend that particular blend. And obviously, we're just having some fun tonight on election day. And it's not like, hey, look, you know, let me put it this way: the local elections are important, 100%. Okay. But the good news is that we don't have to deal with the very, very serious issues that state and federal governments have to deal with. But we do have to take care of our home base. And that's why it is so important to get out there and vote, no matter what the thing is, because they are your representatives for the next 1, 2, 4, or in the case of the judiciary, 14 years. I'm not kidding. Literally 14 years for that particular sector. I'm going to head over to the election results again. Let's talk about the supervisors. At the moment, we have actually kind of an interesting race between George Holman, who's the incumbent for the supervisor for Clarkstown, and the person that's running against him, Eugene Bondar. So here's the vote right now: 527 votes by George Holman to 374 for Eugene Bondar. That's 58% to 41%. Pretty interesting there. Because if you think about it, if there's just 150 to 200 more votes, it's possible that this race can be dead even. Now, think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Dead even. In New City, New York, 150 votes. So that tells me one of two things. Either it's something where a large amount of the populace is really, really invested in possibly having a challenger for the incumbent there, or nobody gives a darn, because the votes are only in the hundreds here, and we have 337,000 people in Rockland County. So, and again, this is just 14 minutes ago from enhanced voting. We certainly want to note that it's going to be a long election night, and we don't even know if we're going to get all of the votes in tonight. It's probably going to be something where there's going to be like some sort of a dead heat out there that happens eventually at some point. At some point, the dead heat is going to be broken, but not in the town of Haverstraw, ladies and gentlemen, because Supervisor Howard T. Phillips Jr., 144 votes to 2, 98.63%. I don't even know who the write-in vote is on here, but apparently there's someone that got 1.3% of the vote. And to me, I think he's got a chance. Or she. Let's be clear. He or she. And possibly in the future, they. Taking a sip of the lemon drop martini. I have to tell you, this lemon drop martini is absolutely fantastic. I also have to say that probably tomorrow morning, my career is going to be in jeopardy. All right. Supervisor for Orangetown, Teresa M. Kennedy, 1,883 votes. It's 97.16%. To 55 votes, there was a write-in, nonpartisan, of course, 2.84%. So that's looking pretty solid over there. That might change over the course of the night. Again, this is early in the voting process. Election results, it's only 9:28. The results don't start coming in until 9 o'clock. And obviously, the votes do have to be manually counted, ladies and gentlemen. And I remember doing this. I used to do this. It's been a while, but about 10 years ago, I used to be one of the volunteers to count, basically preside over the votes over the course of approximately 12 hours. The election inspectors would get there sometime between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. And they would spend the entire day there making sure that everything was done accurately. Kudos to every one of those that went out there and did that and are going to do that in the future. And I would have to say, there's a few places in my life where I've found very nonpartisan, friendly atmosphere. And one of those was with the election inspectors, because there were Democrats there were Republicans there. They all just got along. They just wanted to be accurate. And to those of you that were in the trenches doing that tonight, I say kudos to you. Let's talk about our supervisor over at Ramapo. So here we go. Michael Specht, looks like a pretty good percentage for him, 94.38%. That's 1,949 votes for Michael B. Specht. Write-in nonpartisan, 5.62%, 116 votes. So at the moment, and again, we're only a half hour into the votes, that's looking pretty solid right there. Supervisor for Stony Point, Amy Conklin Stam, is looking like a shoo-in at the moment, 96.45%. That's 598 votes for Amy Conklin Stam. And we had some write-in, and I'm gonna say this right now. I'm actually gonna go out to Facebook again, because that's where we live and breathe, unfortunately. Also, unfortunately, the oxygen is pretty low on Facebook. I'm starting to get tired of it after like about 13 years, 14 years. It's pretty bad at this point. But yeah, so Deidre Murphy O'Connor. I want to say this to you. I don't know if you're going to hear this now or tomorrow or something like that. And we'll see how the election results go tonight. But before the election results come in, I want to say to you very clearly, I understand what you did, and I appreciate that you posted on all of our Rockland News posts. That was really smart, getting the word out there about your name. I think that was really, in hindsight, smart move. So maybe that's part one. I don't know. But I have to say, I 100%, and objectively speaking, I'm not talking about policy or anything like that, but in terms of work ethic, I appreciate your consistency. That's all I got to say about that. So kudos on that. Deidre Murphy O'Connor, and we'll see how it goes tonight. Obviously, there's some more election results coming in. At the moment, we're looking at 96% for Amy Conklin Stam. Write-in, likely part of that was Deidre Murphy O'Connor, 3.55%. And that is what we have at the moment. Again, many different results coming in over the next several hours. Okay, Town Council, Clarkstown, Ward 1. I have been waiting to announce this all night. Mark B. Liquor at the moment, 48.7%. That's 787 votes. Versus John P. Valentino, 50.37%. That's 814 votes at the moment. And actually, we got some other people. Ryan P. Orlando from the Working Families Party, that's 0.87%, 14 votes. And then we had one person as a write-in, 6%. That had to be one person being like, they were out there last week and they're like, dude, you should totally write me in as a candidate. There's literally one vote for this particular person. Oh, I'm not going to have a career tomorrow. Anyway, next up, Town Council, Clarkstown, Ward number 2. Because there's 4 wards. All right, so we're up to Ward number 2. This is going to be a fun show, people. Call in if you want. Gregory Sheehan, Democratic, 38.8%, 485 votes for him. Versus Mike Graziano. He's a cross-endorsed candidate, not like religiously, but like different parties nominated the same candidate. 61%, 764 votes. So that's looking pretty solid right there at the moment. Again, it's only 9:34 in the evening, so that might completely change in 5 minutes. Who knows? Because, and again, for those of you that are looking to check out the election results, You're going to go to rocklandnews.com. And actually, if you could give me like a 10-second break at some point, I'm actually going to put this as a link on the homepage so that people can be able to check it out. But the problem is I can't talk at the same time that I'm posting the results. So maybe if somebody comes into the podcast at some point and they say things, I'll be able to take a break and put up the election results on Rockland News. But again, you go to rocklandnews.com, election 2025, and you'll be able to check it out. All right, let's keep going. So that was Gregory Sheehan, Mike Graziano. Town Council, Clarkstown, Ward 3. Daniel P. Maher, I hope I'm saying that right, 44.69%. The votes were 417 votes versus Donald Franchino. He's the incumbent, 55.2%. That's 515 votes. There was one write-in at 0.1%, one vote there. So, nominal in terms of the number of people for that particular individual. But it looks like it's a pretty close race at the moment with Donald Franchino and Daniel P. Maher. Town Council, Clarkstown, Ward number 4, Gina DeFelice with 784 votes, 45.34% versus Robert A. Axelrod. And I want this guy on my show because if you think about it, if any of you that check out the show Billions on Showtime, Robert Axelrod, Bobby Axelrod, for goodness sakes, ladies and gentlemen, that's just amazing. 945 votes. That's 54.66% of the vote versus Gina DeFelice. And I really want to get him on the show just to find out if he ever has watched Billions. If he hasn't, that is completely okay. I have to say that because we're apparently a news organization that can't take sides, and that's okay as well. Haverstraw Town Council, by the way, if you want to call in and end this debacle, this is kind of like my version of a filibuster. And I have to tell everybody, I've been having a few drinks tonight, and I don't mind. I do this from the comfort of my home office, so it's not like I'm behest to anyone. We've been in business for 18 years, so we're having a good time with it. But please, shut me up. Get on the show. Feel free to talk. I'll probably take a break in about 5 or 10 minutes, but you are more than welcome to go to rocklandnews.com/guest. Follow the instructions, download a simple app called Riverside, and there's a link right there where you can chime right into the show and have a damn good time with me. And by all means, I honestly don't give a gosh darn about your political leanings. Left, right, center, left of center, right of center, slightly left of center, slightly right of center. Heavy level extremist on the left, heavy level extremist on the right. The way that I figure that out is I find a heavy level extremist on the left and I line him or her up with a heavy level extremist on the right. Get them fighting with each other in the UFC ring, and we just sit back and watch the fools go at it. Just saying. Hey, look, this is our time to be able to comment on things. So by all means, I'm telling you, you are more than welcome to comment on what the heck is going on in Rockland County. You just can't talk about like national politics. That's the only thing that I ask. And here's the reason why. I should mention this. There are a lot of really serious issues that are happening globally, nationally, and regionally. The way I'm looking at it, and the way we've been trying to position Rockland News, is we're only focused on news in this area. And, I quite frankly hope it's the correct strategy. I really want to do this right. I want to do this right for the people that live in Rockland County, the people that do business in Rockland County, and the people that are invested in the future of Rockland County. That's what we're really aiming for. It's not just me. We got a great team in the background, and I don't talk about them much, and I don't know how to. but we really do, I think, some good reporting at this point. We're not journalists. We're not looking to freaking get into some issue where it's like, oh, we think about this or that or anything. We will sarcastically comment on many, many things because of that freedom of speech clause. So that's the only thing that I ask is, like, when you get on the podcast, just talk about the local issues. If you're passionate about it, it's totally cool. If you're not passionate about it, it's totally cool, but you want to make sure people, really connect with your stuff. So try to act like you're passionate. And you're also welcome to write in at rocklandsnews.com/alert. And you can actually write a comment and we will post it on our Facebook page for you because we care. All right, let's get back to the election results. We're going to take a break in approximately 5 minutes. Just get over to that screen. I don't know where the hell it is. There it is. Okay. So Town Council Haverstraw, like I mentioned, Isidro Cancel, 49.5% of the vote. That's 1,383 votes versus Vincent J. Gamboli. Sounds like a very, very Irish name. 49.5% of the vote, 1,381 votes. It's literally 2 votes away, the two of them. They're like neck and neck. And then at 0.93% of the vote, that's 26 votes for a write-in. We don't know who that is, but it looks like the big fight is between Isidro Cancel and Vincent J. Gamboli. Let's move on to Town Council Orangetown. Tiffany M. Sturdivant-Morrison, 23.65% of the votes. That's 1,911 versus Daniel W. Sullivan, 37.9%. That's 3,062 votes. This is quite a contest, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 3-way race at this point. Brian M. Donahue, 37.89% of the votes. That's 3,061. We got a 3-way race between Tiffany, Daniel, and Brian. We're coming back to this. This is a 3-way, ladies and gentlemen, where 3 people are basically, they're fighting for 1 spot. Only 1. There can only be 1, ladies and gentlemen. Only 1. Gosh darn it. Town Council Ramapo, David Wananunu, percentage 53% of the vote. That's 2,044 votes versus Yehuda Weissmandel, 44.66% of the votes, 1,722. That's for Town Council of Ramapo. For Town Council of Stony Point, Todd W. Rose is going against Keith Williams. And this is a really tight race, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if you transpose the numbers here, it would be basically a dead heat. Todd W. Rose has 1,141 votes versus Keith Williams at 1,114. Wow. If you took the number 4 on Keith Williams's thing and you moved it over to the left, it would literally be a dead heat. It's 49 to 48%. We're coming back to this one. This is pretty wild over here, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like we should have some coffee together. Actually, no, we shouldn't have any coffee with each other, but we should all have coffee separately from each other and watch this vote over the entirety of the evening. And I'm sure the results are going to show up tomorrow morning, so that's fine. Kind of winding down here, Town Clerk for Clarkstown, David R. Bruin, 42% versus Lauren M. Wall, 57% with 3,909 votes against 2,841 for David R. Bruin. And for Town Clerk of Haverstraw, we have Raquel Ventura solidly in the lead because there was nobody that ran against her, 99.25%. That's 1,452 votes. Orangetown Town Clerk, 98%. That's 3,542. I got to get into this town clerk business right here. Receiver of taxes for Stony Point, Kathy Campbell Lyons looking very solid there at 98.61% of the vote. That's 1,205 votes. Superintendent of Highways, Clarkstown, Robert E. Malone is looking pretty solid with 4,740. I do not wish anything bad against the write-in who got 80 votes out of that. I don't know who that was, but good job, bro. Good job. Superintendent of Highways, Haverstraw, John Bart Gord, 1,408 votes. Hoorah! Nice job there. Whoever was writing in, there's 8 votes. Superintendent of Highways for Orangetown, James J. Dean, with 3,480 votes. That's 98.81% of all the votes out there. Let me ask you something, just out of curiosity. You got 3,480 votes. Did you go to door? Did you send an email? Did you just jump on Facebook and say, hey, vote for me? How did you do this? I want to know. Superintendent of Highways, Ramapo, Frederick M. Brin, 2,050 votes, 98.18%. So what I'm gathering from this is I should either run for superintendent of highways or a town clerk. Probably ends up with the number of votes is right. And village mayor, Village of Nyack, Joseph W. Rand, 96.55%, 196 votes counted. I know, Joe, all I got to say is this is early in the process, so I'm going to guess that we're not even worried about that. So village mayor of the village of Piermont, Nathan S. Mitchell. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. Let me take a step back here. I'm going to take a sip of my Cutwater lemon drop martini because we have a race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. One moment, please. Okay. Nathan S. Mitchell, running for the village of Piermont, 120 votes. That's 47%. Versus Kevin Timoney, 135 votes at 52.94%. Now, let me take a step back here and give you a quick brief on some stuff that's happened in the village of Piermont. Putting my feet up on the desk, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I have to tell you, it's not easy running Rockland's news. Sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like I said, we got a great team. It's not just me. Special thanks to our editor. I don't know if she wants me to freaking say her name on the air or not, but special thanks to Heather for really curating the news. And special thanks to our reporters out in the field that feed us information, okay? But let me tell you what's going on in the village of Piermont. Basically, there is a local lawyer that has been absolutely ripping a new anus for the mayor that was there for years and years. I forget the exact amount. I forget if it was 2 years, 4 years. I personally got along with him. I don't know anything about the background, about exactly what happened, but basically there was some new development that was proposed for the area. I'm going to say this objectively. It seems like it was a large building, okay? And there was a local lawyer that basically spent the last 6 months ripping the former mayor a new a-hole. Now, the two people that are running for office are not the former mayor. So first of all, I want to say to the outgoing mayor, I hope we can have a beer sometime and I just, figure out what's going on. And you seem like a cool guy. Hopefully you did it by the book. I get it. You guys do what I don't do. I don't care. Let's have a beer and it's all good. Item 1. Item 2. The lawyer that ripped into this guy, I'm like, what the flying, like, I'm not even going to mention it on the air because it was, the level of scathe was off the freaking charts, ladies and gentle germs. I can't even begin to explain. Every single week, there was like a new thing about this guy. Like, the only question I have for you to the lawyer that did this is how did you do that without getting sued? I am beyond. Like, if I put that out there against my local nemesis, his name is George Patanovic, and he kind of is an a-hole in his own regard. Yes, I'm going to say that. And by the way, it's in my opinion because I'm entitled to my opinion. George, if you're ever listening to this, I am entitled to my opinion as you are, but I'm better than you. Anyway, listen, I still don't understand to this point how this lawyer was able to absolutely rip into the now former mayor of Piermont. But I kind of want to learn from you because I want to go at George. I just don't want to get in legal trouble. Who would want to? Um, and I actually like George, just to be clear. But I have so much material on him that I want to go at him for years. Like, I'm thinking like about 8 years, give or take. Um, okay. So that's my political stance. That's the end of it. I never want to be in public office. I don't understand how people do it, and I don't care. But to those of you that are able to do it, and to those of you that are able to protest against those that are able to do it at any given point, bless your hearts. Absolutely bless your hearts. So again, the focus right now, Village Mayor, Village of Piermont, Nathan S. Mitchell, 47% to 52% for Kevin Timoney. All right, so we have a few more. We're going to take a little quick break, and then we're going to come back. Village Mayor for the Village of Suffern, Michael Curley, looks like he's going to soundly defeat nobody because nobody ran against him. They were afraid. 466 votes to 3. Gosh darn it. Oh, here's a good one. The village mayor for the Village of Spring Valley. Shocker, Alan Simon is not running again. Oh, freaking darn. Not that I have an opinion about it, but here are the people that are running. I have to say that Shenley. Okay. Shenley Vital, 91.44% of the vote. That's 758 votes versus Aaron Stern. That's 54 votes, 6.51%. In the Village of Nyack, the village trustee, Joe Carlin, is having a tight race against Nathalie Riobi Taylor. That's 479 to 469. So we'll see how that goes. Village of Piermont trustee, Michael Wright versus Catherine McCabe. Looks like Catherine is in the lead at 50% to 48%. Village of Suffern trustee. Looks like Clark W. Osborne is in a tight race. 451 votes against Joe Megan Corrigan at 446 votes. Village of Spring Valley trustee Joseph Gross, 764 votes against Sherry McGill, 157. Village trustee, we got a 4-way race, ladies and gentlemen, for the Village of West Haverstraw, I'm sorry. Village of West Haverstraw, Peter Eckert is currently in the lead with 521 votes. He's going against Robert J. LeGros, 485 votes. Kathleen Ann Cool, 271. And Helene M. Nemeth, 192 votes. And I know several of those people because it's in my neck of the woods. So you figure, I'm going to be objective and say I hope the best person wins on this, and anybody that does or doesn't win, I'll see you over at the local restaurants. And then there's a whole bunch of 9th Judicial District Supreme Court judges that I really just don't want to comment on because apparently they get a 14-year term. And I'm not going to say that I'm for or against any long terms, but I just want to say I hope while you're in office, you do the best possible job that you can. Now, we are going to take a little break. We'll come back at 10 o'clock. I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, we're just hanging out, having a good time, and reporting on the results. If you'd like to comment at the next part of this segment, please feel free to go to rocklandsnews.com/guest, and you'll be able to download the Riverside app, and there's a link that brings you right into our studio, and you are welcome to comment on how everything went tonight. This episode is sponsored by the following sponsors, and we thank them very much. Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp, located in Hackensack, New Jersey, Kobe Sushi, Susan Bova from Coldwell Banker Realty, Lauren Molino Muller from Howard Hannaran Realty, Whole Shot Bagels in Haverstraw, New York, 99 Signs. A business without a sign is a sign with no business. Workforce Development Board of Rockland Works. Get a job, damn it! Get a job. FC Perfection, Clean Space Maintenance Management Company. I gotta take a break. You guys, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Take care.